The iron cage stood in the center of the cold research hall, and bright light shone on the massive wounded dragon inside it. Guards with heavy rifles watched every movement, and scientists in white coats whispered about the creature with fear in their eyes. Chains thicker than a human arm wrapped around the dragon, and glowing energy fields flickered to keep it weak and helpless. Everyone believed the beast was nothing more than a dangerous animal captured from a distant, forgotten world. The dragon had scales as dark as midnight and eyes that burned like silent suns filled with pain and rage. For weeks the military base had studied the creature, and for weeks they had learned nothing except how strong it truly was. No tool could cut its scales, and no weapon could truly harm it without risking total destruction of the entire facility. The generals decided the dragon was too valuable to kill and too dangerous to free, so they kept it locked in suffering. Rumors spread that the creature understood human speech and that it hated every person who came near the cage. Many soldiers wanted it destroyed, but the scientists insisted it was the greatest discovery in human history. One morning a new visitor arrived at the base, and he was not a soldier or weapons expert. His name was Dr. Elias Moore, and he was known as a simple medical doctor who treated impossible cases. He had kind, tired eyes and carried an old leather bag filled with ordinary tools of healing. When the commander met him at the gate, he asked why a doctor had been sent to study a monster. Dr. Moore calmly replied that even monsters feel pain and someone must care for them. The commander laughed at the idea and warned him that the dragon had nearly killed 3 researchers already. Still, the doctor insisted on seeing the creature and signing every dangerous document required. Armed guards escorted him through long metal corridors until they reached the massive reinforced hall. The moment Dr. Moore saw the dragon, he did not see a weapon or a specimen. He saw a living being wounded and terrified in a place it did not understand. The dragon lifted its huge head and glared at the approaching human with deep burning suspicion. Scientists shouted for the doctor to stay back, but he walked forward slowly with empty hands. He spoke softly to the dragon as if it were a frightened patient in a small village clinic. The creature growled and the chains rattled like thunder across the steel floor. Dr. Moore noticed infected wounds beneath broken scales and realized the dragon was dying. He turned to the lead scientist and said the creature needed treatment instead of experiments. Laughter filled the room as technicians mocked the idea of helping a monster heal. The doctor ignored them and asked for clean water and medical supplies and proper light. Against all expectations, the commander allowed the strange request only to see what would happen. When the doctor stepped closer to the cage, the dragon opened its massive jaws in warning. Flames flickered deep in its throat, but the energy field weakened the fire before it could fully form. Dr. Moore did not step back, and instead placed a gentle hand against the cold bars. He told the dragon that he wanted to help, and that he understood what it meant to suffer alone. Something in his calm voice reached the creature in a way no weapon ever could. For the first time since its capture, the dragon became still and silent. Guards watched in disbelief as the doctor unlocked his medical bag and prepared simple treatments. Hour after hour he cleaned terrible wounds and removed shattered pieces of metal from the dragon hide. He worked without fear and spoke to the creature as if it were an old friend. The scientists recorded everything and could not explain why the dragon allowed it. Days turned into weeks, and Dr. Moore returned again and again to care for his impossible patient. The dragon grew stronger and healthier under his careful attention. Many people warned that healing the beast would only make it more dangerous. The doctor answered that cruelty created monsters and kindness created hope. One evening, a powerful storm struck the region, and the base lost power completely. The energy fields failed, and the great cave became nothing more than ordinary metal. Panic filled the halls as alarms echoed uselessly in the darkness. Soldiers prepared to open fire the moment the dragon tried to escape. Dr. Moore ran into the hall alone and ordered them to lower their weapons. He stood directly in front of the cage as the huge door slowly swung open. The dragon stepped out into freedom for the first time in years. Everyone expected fire and death and terrible revenge. Instead, the creature lowered its head toward the small human who had shown mercy. Dr. Moore placed his hand on the dragon's snout and told it that it was free to go. Tears filled his eyes because he knew the world would never understand what happened. The dragon looked around at the trembling soldiers and frightened scientists. With a single powerful motion, it spread enormous wings that had long been bound. Rather than destroy the base, it walked beside the doctor like a guardian. Outside under the stormy sky, the dragon lifted into the air and roared with joy. Before flying away, it touched the ground gently in front of Dr. Moore as a final farewell. From that day forward, the story spread across the world and changed how humanity saw the unknown. Many called the doctor a fool, and others called him a hero. He simply returned to his small clinic and continued healing anyone who needed help. Years later, travelers claimed that a great dark dragon protected lost hikers and endangered villages. Whenever people asked Dr. Moore if the rumors were true, he only smiled. He would say that compassion can open any cage and that every living being deserves a chance to heal. And somewhere beyond the clouds, a grateful dragon never forgot the human doctor who did the unthinkable.